Nate the Great, Scent of the Day, Indigo Smoke. Hey, number 2 to Royal Instance. You can't be mad about that. 2 is not a bad thing to do. Astro, sir, this is going to be another great stream. I truly believe that. Scent of the Day, Fan Your Flames. Nice, nice. And that is by Fatboy Finesse. I guess I should have been putting them up. We got a couple people in the backstage, but we are going to go. Miss Teresa, just going to go in, and we got Scent of the Day, Fan Your Flames by Finesse, Indigo Smoke, and Mr. Terrence Green, Sapphire. We got a lot of great scents in the building, and we got some people in the building already. So, Mr. Rock Boy, sir, how you doing? What I definitely wanted to start this off because, like I said, I'm not saying I started it. I'm not saying that it came from me because this is a topic that goes back and forth in several time frames as far as clones versus originals. But it did, I guess, inspire some people to make some videos. I don't know if this video was inspired by our live or not, but this was an interesting video that is going to start it off. So I'm going to show this, and then we're going to introduce who's in the backstage. We're waiting for a couple more people to come up, but we will show this right now. Take a look.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Max Aroma Channel. I'm Hamed, and today I actually have a very big topic that I want to talk about. Why luxury perfumes or fine perfumes? Sure, they may cost more, but it's an investment. It's an investment in yourself, in art, and appreciation about perfumery, and everything goes behind it, that craftsmanship. And dupe and cheap colognes are like fast food. Quick, cheap, maybe a little bit delicious in the beginning, but you're gonna be unsatisfied at the end of the day and feel bad about yourself. And honestly, do you want your signature scent to be Odo bargain bin? That's not good, guys.
So that was the first thing he said, and then he even got more daring at the end. And the middle was just basically him kind of talking about why it's worth it, some of the things that we're going to talk about now. So I didn't want to play the whole video, but the last part is even more edgy, and basically it is making a stand.
This is kind of getting promoted a lot, and people are keep pushing these guys, pushing them, and they're just copying, they're stealing work, they're stealing all that time, all that efforts from the real creators that are behind these top fragrances, and just make a copy out of it. Just for this fact, actually, we have a big announcement. And you know, also I'm maybe a little bit guilty of having those perfumes, and I didn't really know the story behind it before, but now I know more, and I know how bad it is. And maybe we had some of those brands on the website before. So when you see this video, today is the last day that we have those. I'm removing all of those, and even if you have to burn them, I'll burn them. I'm never gonna use them. We're never gonna list them again. So today we are removing all those brands, and we would never ever work with anyone that is inspired by or copying.
Wow. That's all I have to say. Full disclosure, though, I did get on the website because this came out on Saturday, and I did watch it. I did get on the website, and Afnan is taken off the site. They are not selling Afnan right now. However, Armaf is still on the site, even with Club de Nuit, Intense Man, and Untold. And then Al Haramain is still on the site. So now it comes down to, what is he defining as inspiration? I'm not exactly sure, but I will say that he has made a big announcement in what he is saying. So without further ado, we're going to get started. Am I wasting my money buying original fragrances? And we will bring the first one that came into the stage, my man, the Man Cologne. Everybody kind of knows. We kind of brought the crew back together. This was the first crew that we had together as a live, and we did several lives together. So we're bringing back the gang, and the man Cologne. Welcome, sir, to the stage.
Charm, how you doing? Everybody, how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Speaking about inspired fragrances, right? So everybody knows that, Ridgewood has inspiration from Coromandel. But I would have to say the only difference is when you speak about Ridgewood, it is quality, quality, quality. So this will be my scent of the day. And guys, I could have taken the Harmonious, or I could have took something I really like, Dior Sauvage Elixir. But I wanted the world to know that this to me is not cloning. It's inspired, but by a great company with great material. So there's a difference of stealing someone's product and actually making a product. Because look, I can't lie, they did it better than Chanel with the packaging.
Yes, sir. Well, I don't want to get too far ahead because we got to introduce some other people.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, and some of that is on. We got the man, the legend, the myth, the playboy, Tazo in the house.
What's going on? What's going on, man? What's going on, the man Cologne and Charm?
What's good, Taz?
Shout out to the chat, man.
Good. What do you guys say? Just for the beginning?
What you say?
I said just for the beginning, what you had to say about what Max Roma talked about.
Oh man, that's I respect it. I gotta respect it. I appreciate somebody who make a message and stand on it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how much he stands on it, because he is standing on it. He did take some down, but the question is, what is exactly, and we're going to talk about that, be a clone fragrance house. But next, we have the man, and he not only makes sure his fragrances are right, he makes sure his dress code is appropriate. And that is my boy, Suits and Scents. Sir, how are you doing?
What's good, everybody? How's everyone doing?
What's up, family?
What's up?
Everybody good?
Good to hear from you. Good to see you.
You too.
What's good, Scoots?
And how's everybody? How's your son, Chaz?
Hey, man. See how my face is lit up?
Hey, I'm always going to ask about him.
I'm very proud of the young man. I'm very proud of the young man.
Every time we talk, before we even talk, I always ask you, how your son? I appreciate that. I love the way you are with your son, man. I respect that.
Yeah, I'm a proud father, man. My son is making me proud, man. He about to be 10.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Always. I'm telling you, you don't see that much, with black fathers, man. And I truly, truly adore that.
It's changing with my generation. A lot of us are stepping up.
Yeah.
With this generation, the 90s. I can't speak for the 2000s. They got to show us. But the 90s, all of us there for our little ones, man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So we're still waiting for Sally, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I really want to get started with the question that kind of starts all this. And everybody can kind of give their own little interpretation of how they think it is. But what exactly for you defines a niche fragrance versus a designer fragrance versus a clone fragrance? Because definition really has to do a lot with what's going on right now as far as that's concerned. And that kind of helps us start out with what we're talking about. So let's start with Tazo.
So what's the question?
How do you define a niche fragrance versus a designer fragrance versus a clone fragrance?
Designer fragrances are fragrances basically I look at that I can get in Macy's. If you want a designer, go to Macy's to see what's hot. You can always sample, but who sampled designer fragrances, right? Clones are most likely fragrances you'll find in like the little, family-owned perfume stores.
Mhm.
If you don't have, if you're not, I'm speaking about online, right? I mean, excuse me, in person.
Right.
Before we all got to this internet, this is how I view these fragrances. And then clones and stuff that you'll see in little stores that was like $40, $20, $30, whatever. And then niche to me always been like fragrances I looked at that my dad would be wearing or my uncle would be wearing. Like, oh, what's the name of that? I wouldn't even know the name of it. Like, oh, I don't even know what the name of that is, but it smelled good. Like, it was always like, to me, how I broke down, niche was next level perfumery, like next level, like outside of the, the stuff you see in Macy's.
Wow. Okay. The man. We'll go to you.
Oh, this is going to be good. So I'm going to say the truth about designer and niche is all hogwash, and I'll explain why. I mean, Suits and Charm is a little older than me, but I'm 47, right? And when my mother would put on Dior Poison, this was more niche than anything in the world. The original Dior Fahrenheit, and what I mean by Charm and Suits, they're old enough to know, they're a little older, so they got to smell these things or be around these type of fragrances. Designer was really doing niche before niche. And the truth is that niche doesn't make enough money towards the designer world. Like, we love niche, but the majority love designer. So if you look at the sales per year, for example, Dior Sauvage Elixir is outselling everybody and their mother, right? If you look at the stats, they're selling. So designers stop focusing on niche quality fragrances. You can look at Chanel from 1981. All these brands from the 80s, 70s, they were doing stuff that was not designer level. They were doing a lot of niche stuff, but with the times, with the people, with the way the system, way people are structured and what they want to smell, it focused more on designer. So now,
because now we're in the age or the time where it's fast paced, so you need to make a mark now. Like, sillage are really for people who like work around the same people, right? But like now people are like moving in other places, right? So you got to smell good and get that quick reaction, like, whoa, what is that? Like, that's gonna grab people right there in that moment. Like a Herbal Pure is gonna grab people, like, whoa, what is that? That smells amazing.
Right.
You smell Dior Sauvage, the EDP. Like, damn, like chicks love that on dudes. Like, it's a simple DNA to dudes like us who have smelled the Neffs and the Manas and the Face and the, you get what I'm saying? We might be like, man, that's kind of like simple, that's playboyish, or that's that's youthful and playful. But to the dudes that's in the mix, that's really moving and they grooving, that's the best thing they ever smell in their life. Like, chicks love this stuff.
Right. Well, even going at, so the man.
Yeah.
What size Sauvage was that? That was Sauvage Elixir, right?
Yeah, that's a 3.4.
Yeah, that's a 3.4, because I think I saw that was in your video that you released this morning.
Yeah.
Now, 3.4, how much did you pay for that?
I got a deal, $150.
You got a deal.
I got a deal on mine too, bro.
So what was the retail? So even a deal, $150. All right. So, and to me, Sauvage Elixir has more of what I would call a linear type feel, even though it smells great. I will say
Yes.
that.
No, yeah.
So 150 for 3.4, and we'll go with, here's a side that is what, $30, maybe even $25. We got Enigma that this one I think is $35. Both of those simulate. Now, what I will say about Sauvage Elixir is it projects like a beast. However, these are really, really good for at least, you say a fifth of the cost, so 20% of the cost.
Yeah, definitely.
So the question, and that's what I want to get at.
It did good with that
now.
clone that you just had up. That was a very good take on the Elixir DNA.
Right. So, given that, and when I talked about cost before, looking at that, a lot of the Sauvage price is basically baked in to making sure that one person, and that's the guy who has a lot of movies and was doing their commercials and marketing got paid. And so a lot of Savage Elixir might be in the cost of it is actually paying Johnny Depp. Now, how do you feel about that kind of situation, knowing that maybe some of these inspirations really are using pretty much some of the same materials, and they're cheaper because they're not paying Johnny Depp?
Well, I would say that all the clones I've smelled, which some are good, some are better than others, I've always feel like the original is better. Now, if it's worth the money for you as the one purchasing, is totally up to you. Now, for me, I like some clones, but I don't focus on that. I'd rather focus on stuff like this. I'll just show you. If I'm going to spend $25, I'll buy a Curve. You see? So, and why buy this instead of a cologne? Because there's a girl today. She's pretty famous. We've seen her in Sun Explore. She's at the Navitus doc. She's called I Am Nicole, something like that. And she got her own fragrance. She was having a video today stating about every cologne she got, like the opening is rough. And then you have to let it sit for like 2-3 months for it to get better. Well, when it comes to these, even these cheapies that you want to call, they have their own DNA signature, and you don't have to wait a month or two for it to work. And when you spray it, they smell good from Jump Street. There's no after.
This my take on like cheaper fragrances, like in cologne fragrances. Me personally, I'm not a hoarder, right? I don't buy stuff that don't have purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm gonna buy something, I have to really enjoy it. I gotta really love it, and I gotta like. I don't buy stuff that I'm like I'm buying it because it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna like it first, see how much it costs, and then decide if I'm gonna get it at that price or break it down. How can I get it at this price, whatever the case? But no, man, it's just like. If I'm walking in Burlington, man, I don't pick up those fragrances. And that's no knock to nobody that do it. I'm in there for my purpose to get stuff like socks, underwear, white tees. Like, that's what I'm spending my little $20 on, right? When I want to smell good, bro, I really go for the juggler, man. I really go for something I'm going to really love. I'm not just buying it because it's $25. Like, if I really want that $125 fragrance, I'm gonna hold off. I ain't going shopping for 2 weeks. That money I would have had here, I'm gonna take it and put it there so I can get that 125 fragrance. It don't always gotta be $400. People be thinking when you buy niche, you always going $600 of fragrance. It's a lot of fragrances, and I got a crazy collection, bro. And I haven't paid $400 for nothing. You just gotta shop smart. You see what I'm saying? You can get whatever you want in life, bro. You just gotta want it that bad.
Well, we're gonna go to Suits with the next question because I want to talk about this real quick. A good definition, and I actually watched Scent Bubble this morning, and he actually had an interesting video that came out that was a reaction to our video, but he gave a very, very defined definition of niche, which kind of takes clones out of it. Because if we just define niche as that's all they do are fragrances, then clones kind of technically will be in that definition. But I think that definition was kind of made up before clones came out and before clones got all their prominence, because it was to distinguish it was distinguish niche from designer, right? Because designer was done in a different way. But what he said, and I'm paraphrasing it, is generally he said niche fragrances are defined as fragrances that are made in smaller quantities and sold in limited locations. These are not fragrance houses that are made by fashion brands, and these companies are specifically working on fragrances and fragrance-related products. Niche fragrances are not mass marketed through traditional channels like designer fragrances, and they are typically, but not always, created with higher quality ingredients and a higher quality of craftsmanship, offering a more complex olfactory experience. So, in my opinion, that definition will end up taking clone fragrances out of that niche discussion. And it kind of puts clone fragrances in kind of a category in all of itself. Now, however, there are clone fragrances that run the gamut. There are clone fragrances that are very high end, and then there are clone fragrances.
Like Al Hermaine. You smell Al Hermaine, bro. You swore you smelled a fragrance that was not a clone. Like, for real, like, you can really like some of the fragrances that they have, from the bottle to the case to the atomizer to the tops, the whole thing, bro. And smell
All right,
it like that's a separate house.
You opened it up.
That's a niche house.
So you opened it up. So I'm gonna have to get. So in your mind, Al Haramain is not a clone house. Is that what you're saying?
I can't give them no clone house, man. That shit too good to be a clone house.
Hold on. All right. So you can't give them to be a clone
They
house.
got better quality than houses that compete with them for sure. But I gotta give it to listen, I'm gonna give y'all my scent of the day. We didn't even talk about scent of the days while we on here. My scent of the day was from a clone house, but it's an original fragrance. Where that damn decan at? Every time I need something, I ain't got it.
Ridgewood scent of the day.
My scent of the day was from Alexandra Fragrances, the Vanilla Abuse. I've been wearing the hell out this fragrance. This fragrance smells good, bro. It's an original creation from Alexandra Fragrances. And this is a 15 ml, bro. This is a 15 ml. You can see I probably got about a good 3 left. It's a clone house, but they do originals, which I respect that. Like, they, if you're gonna do an original, man, like, if you're gonna be doing clones, definitely give us some originals. So
all right, Suits, what's your scent of the day? I'm sorry, I should have been talking.
Nah, it's cool, man. I'm because I don't know much about clones, so I'm listening to y'all trying to learn,
Hey, listen, hey, Suits. One day we're gonna, the universe is going to.
We're gonna go
in each other's place, right?
I'm gonna put up Al Haramain, right?
That's
the blue
cool.
edition. Now,
that one
this
right
this is kind of, if you take Blue de Chanel and you take Dylan Blue and mix them together.
Oh, you talking about that one?
One
Oh, that's you got. I thought you was showing. Okay, I thought you were doing the Leighton one.
The Leighton one is not actually by Al Haramain.
I know.
It's by a clone that took Al Haramain stuff.
Bottles. Right.
But now, Carbon Edition. Carbon Edition is nice. Now, Carbon Edition, to me, it's like you took Green Irish Tweed and you took Cool Water and you just mixed them together. But this is still cloning Green Irish Tweed.
That's good too.
I know you know about this.
I haven't smelled that one in a while.
Yeah, the Ambient. This is the Ruby Edition. There's another one that's Baccarat Rouge Extrait.
Good too.
And then we got
the King.
Aqua de Ba.
King
that
Dingaling.
Is basically
the best clone ever.
Was that a clone?
Imagination.
Actually, I actually like the Full House better, as far as because it's closer to Imagination. But I will say I got crazy compliments. I wore Aqua de Ba out and I got crazy compliments.
That shit is a chick magnet.
It projects.
That shit brings
further.
This one, the one he just showed.
Yes.
This one it projects further, but it doesn't really have the T note is not really defined in this one. In this one, and it's got like a menthol, but it projects and it gets a lot of notice. People really like this one.
So you say that's not a clone house?
No, this
man.
I don't know. I'm asking.
That's to be continued.
All right.
Technically, if we're going to talk about for this show, it is a clone.
I don't know.
So,
that's
I'm just saying.
That's disrespectful.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not calling this a clone house. Hold on. No. I gotta bring my boy. A
bullshit.
All right. Technically, It's a clone house.
All
But
right.
bro, you can put that in a Bodicea bottle and y'all gonna buy that joint at $800.
Well, that would be me.
I put that in my life. Y'all put it in a Bodicea bottle. Bodicea sell it for $800.
That would be. So is that better than imagination?
No. Now let's get it straight. No, it is not.
I don't know.
better
Taz's
than Imagination.
face looking kind of tight.
My money ain't going. Hey, LV ain't getting my money. If I need
Yeah,
if I need
I
LV
have-
imagination, I'm going Aqua Dubai, bro. I'm sorry.
Aqua Dubai, it's inspired. It's not exactly imagination, but to me, it's not better than imagination. And so then the question, and I bought imagination. So the question is, why do I feel like that imagination is worth the extra money? Because High Roller is a little, not High Roller, I'm sorry. Full House is a little closer, but to me, that's still not imagination. And some people may like it better. I know there's some people who say they may like it better. It's not blended better. So that's
When you
that's,
talk about the price gap,
the price
well,
gap is steep.
hey,
The price gap
it's
is
almost
steep.
like this, right? Why would you?
That's what
Unless
I'm
you
trying
just
to
want
figure out.
the LV bottle and you want to be able to flex. That's a flex. To me, buying LV imagination over Aqua Dubai is a flex. Because any man in their right straight of mind and say, okay, this is definitely, I'm getting way more for my money with this. This is not even like I'm a OG guy. I'm a niche guy. I'm a spending the bread to get what you want. But bro, this smells too good versus this at this price. It's just nah, bro. I'm sorry.
So in your mind, say so Aqua Dubai is probably what, about $50?
Probably about $50, yeah.
About $50. And LV Imagination is $320. So you're saying $270, the LV Imagination to you does not smell $270 more.
At all. That you getting hustled, bro. Listen, I come from a background of hustlers, bro. I know the game, bro. I know how to give you a little bit and you think it's a lot, bro. I know the game. And with LV, that's why I say LV need to be mad with Aqua Dubai and Al Haramain, bro. Because what they did with that DNA, how it projects and it lasts and it lingers and it smells good and it gets attention and it's very, very close in the wind. For the price, man, I would be upset.
Aqua Dubai is not that close. Now,
so is that a
but I can say
price?
it's nice, though. It is nice in its own right. Now, here's the thing, because then it seems like we're getting into a situation where there are certain ones that you're willing to pay for and there's certain ones that you're not willing to pay for. And so I want to kind of understand where that distinction is. So as far as Tazo, I'm trying to think of something that I don't know a clone for Neffs. So I wanted to use, because that's your creme de la creme fragrance. But
I have one.
You have a clone for Neffs?
No. I have a clone where I bought for Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille from that same company. Now, I would say the clone Al Haramain did, because I packaged everything up, so I'm painting my apartment. I can't pull it out for you guys. But I kept the bottle and I still have juice. I would say when you smell the Al Haramain one, yes, it is good. Yes, it does work. But when I put it next to that Tobacco Vanille for Tom Ford, there is an ingredients gap.
It is.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. Aqua Dubai Al Haramain don't got them across the board. It's some they really did good with, like the Herbal Pure one, the gold, the Aqua Dubai, but the Tobacco Vanille definitely is not a 1-to-1 at all.
But they still did good with it. It still smelled good. I used it for the gym. I liked it.
There is one that for the for Tobacco Vanille that is pretty close.
But
and
my question is, why have both?
Well, I use that for the gym. Like whenever I'm buying fragrances that are $25, $30, I'm taking those things to the gym, things of that nature. Like for me, like I'll give a funny story. I smell girls in the gym all day, and you can tell they're not wearing the real Baccarat Rouge 540, but it still smells decent and good in the air because you know you're working out and stuff and you're sweating. So why would you want to put a real expensive fragrance? Then here's the kicker. There was a guy who, you know, he likes other guys. He was in there flaunting around, but he was wearing the actual Baccarat Rouge 540, right? And it just smelled too, it's like wearing a suit to the gym. You're not going to wear a suit to work out. So to me, it's like wearing the Harmonist to go to the gym. It's just, this ingredients is too good.
Shit, you pay for it.
That's what I'm saying. If I pay,
Yeah,
If
no,
I pay
you
you
pay
money
for
for
it.
something,
Yeah.
I'm wearing it. I could be taking
Okay.
a shit. I'm wearing this fragrance.
Okay, so then I'm gonna break it down. Why for me I feel like when you buy fragrances that are kind of dumbed down for the gym is better. Let's take example Ridgewood. When you smell this Mysol sandalwood, it is like kind of dirty, pungent. Now imagine sweating with this on. These fragrances were not created for you to be sweating at 100%. It's gonna come off your body really it doesn't have the same airiness because the ingredients are too raw. Now when you take something like a Curve where you know it's all synthetic and it's not super glamorous, these things evaporate off you. Ain't the same, just the ingredient. Just when you smell certain things, it's like it's too rich. Again, it's like wearing a suit and going to the gym and you're gonna bench press. I mean, that's just my feeling.
So,
but
just-
still, why
go ahead.
have? I'm sorry. Why have? I'm just not understanding why have. If you have an original, why get a clone of the original that you had?
well, I will say the reason why I have both is I'm a reviewer, so I wanted,
Okay.
and I want people to know what the differences are. So I go in and I have to review both of them. So that's why I have both. But let's stop all the imagination slander right now. And imagination projects and lasts. I have it. I'm just telling you. Now, there are some that don't, like Pacific Chill. It doesn't last as long as, say, it should, but imagination does. So I just wanted to, I have to protect my
Imagination definitely good.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
But-
I think Pacific Chill got the edge a little bit better with the better DNA, but ain't nothing against LV fragrances, y'all. It's just conversation, really. We just having conversation.
It's all good. But one thing I will say is that I did pick up imagination before I picked up any clones. So and what I'd have to say in one sense, it just so everybody kind of knows, because Nosy, when we talk, he talks about it all the time. There wouldn't be a clone if it wasn't for the original. Mm-hmm. And if you get the original first, then necessarily should you get a clone? I don't, unless you're a reviewer or unless you feel like some people will get it because they'll say, hey, we'll get it just to save my original juice. And when I just want to have that DNA, but I'm not going out somewhere, then I'll wear that one. That's what some people say. And that's some of their reasoning.
This what I want to ask people, right? Who wear clones. Like, this one I want to ask people who wear clones. Will you wear a clone to your wedding? Will you wear a clone to bury your mother or your father or your grandparents? Would you wear a clone for a job interview? Like important days in your life, are y'all still wearing y'all clones? Like, or are you grabbing for original fragrances? I'm curious about that. I want to see who actually stands by their clones or who really just buy stuff because they're cheaper. I'm all for if you like clones because you like clones, you like shit. I can get this at a cheap price. But then don't go grab for an OG when it's time to get married, though.
Yeah, and I think I wouldn't. What I can say is I have one clones out because I have to make it my center. They have to see how it performs against the OG. In some senses, it does decent, as everybody likes to say.
Decent. Okay.
It's decent. But to me, especially when you're in your own scent bubble, if you have the original and you know the nuances, and especially when we're talking about niche fragrances, and you know the stages and the transitions that it goes through, you are not going to get that in a clone. A clone does not usually transition. Clone fragrances usually mask a certain phase of an original. So if you're looking for a clone to match totally what a complex niche fragrance does, I don't think it will do that. Now, I did buy Alexandria, and I just got them in, and I'm working that to do a video of how Alexandria, Diaghilev, how Diaghilev and then the Alexandria one actually go up against each other, and see what that does. I'm going to send a sample of the Hot Lux to you, so you can see it, and we'll figure that out, because for the most part, clone fragrances are linear. They're going to give you basically the same smell from the beginning to the end. Niche fragrances don't do that.
Well,
So
let me ask a question real quick.
With
clones, do they last long? Like if you purchasing it just to do a review and you just gonna wear it that one time, will it last 3, 4, 5 years?
What do you mean? Well,
like, I mean, will they give out the same character, the same DNA from sitting over time?
Yeah, and pretty much it actually, because clones are mass produced in such, bless you.
Thank you.
Because clones are mass produced and they're done so quickly, it actually gets better as far as their performance. A lot of times clones, when you first get them, you have to let them sit for 3-4 weeks, and it gets better as it goes.
They should throw a maceration discount out, whatever clone purchase. Imagine buying a Boudicca, and word on the street is you gotta let it sit for 3 weeks. And let's see how many people keep buying Boudiccias. It's the reason why people pay more. You get more. It's common sense, people.
But all right, so
when you heard maceration surrounding Boudicca, never.
But there is something that you're saying, and I'm trying to get to the distinction. For Aqua Dubai, LV Imagination is not worth it to you. You'd rather have the clone. But for other ones, so where's the dividing line? Is it a matter of price?
Is a unicorn.
So we got a purple unicorn.
That's a unicorn. Have you ever heard me talk about another clone before like that?
What is Aqua Dubai a clone of?
LV Imagination.
So is it better?
No.
I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying for what the difference is and what the difference is in ducats.
So basically, if you can't afford Imagination, then get the Aqua Dubai.
Let me see. Let me answer that question. I didn't think about that. That's a good question, right? It's a jab, but it's a good question.
No. I'm just curious.
Let me ask you though. If let's just say I had enough money, I could buy 2 Imaginations, right? And I smell both, because I'm a hustler, bro. It don't switch up. You put you had Aqua Dubai right here. Let's say I got 2 bands on me to spend. Well, 2,000. Excuse me. Let me clean it up, y'all. You got $2,000 to spend. Somebody spray Aqua Dubai on this hand and spray which LV on this hand. I don't know. And then tell me which one was which. I might go with the Aqua Dubai. And you said this is 40 and this is what? I got 2,000. Give me the one that's 40. They smell too close. I'm gonna give you 300 for this one 40. They smell damn near the same. Give me the $40 one. That's what I would do. So it ain't about affording to me. It's about for the difference in what you paying. I'm not getting hustled.
So that Aqua Dubai got niche quality.
Yeah.
It has designer quality. It has high end. It's
It
not
don't got
niche
PDM
quality.
quality.
PDM is really
It don't
at
got
the
Mancera
base.
quality.
It's really
Bro,
at the
you ain't
base
saying that.
of. I
It
don't.
don't got
When I think of
Mancera's quality.
niche,
You want
when
to
I
put
think
up against a
oh,
Mancera?
when I think of niche, I'm not thinking PDM. PDM is mass appealing.
You can't
PDM
go all
is
the
the
way
like
to the
the
top.
base
That's
of niche,
unfair, bro.
huh?
You can use the minimum when we talking niche. We ain't gotta go to
Yeah.
the
So if you want to say it has base niche quality, it's up there. It's a well blended fragrance. I will say that. I will say it's a well
I
blended.
would say if it was better than Mancera, then the price points would be similar, or it would be as good, wouldn't it? Because Mancera, you're gonna pay like $70, between $80 and $60 after the hype dies down.
So for someone like me, would I like it?
Yeah, you will like it. Yes, you will like
With
it.
like
I know you will like it.
with like what? Aqua Dubai?
Aqua Dubai.
I mean, I know I would like it for the gym.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'll send you some of it. I'll send you some of it. We'll talk. I want to see if you like it. Now, it's a fresher fragrance, but it has some density to it. But so one good thing that brought out, and we're all over the place. I had all these questions, but most people say that I will not wear cologne to important events. So that's what I saw in the chat. Is that what everybody's saying? You'll wear cologne like around the house, you wear cologne going to the gym, you wear cologne to go to the store. But if you're going to like a Christmas party or you're going to a New Year's Eve party, you're not saying, let me rock that Aqua Dubai.
Period.
Yeah, because that's my thing. I mean, regardless of where, if I'm taking the trash out or going to get the mail, I'm putting on something
Whatever
that's
I
gonna
like.
be outstanding. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't do that to myself. All right, I got that. That's what they say. So that, huh?
So let me get. I think what draws you. You said when you got to niche, it changed your whole kind of perception. It changed how you dress. It changed, what type of atmosphere you came in. It changed the type of women that came around you. You said it changed like everything. It was like a meeting Jesus kind of moment. It just you went the other way and never turned back. Is that what draws you to niche and not even to really look at cologne fragrances or you have some designers, but you don't even have a lot of designers.
No, I don't have I have a few designers, not a lot. I mean, it's like I looked at that video too that you did with Scent Bubble, how he did his piece, and what he said is true. I mean, it's about quality to me. I mean, I don't want to purchase. If I have an original, I'm not going to buy a clone of the same scent DNA because I'm not going to wear it. It's like that $30 I can use to get some cookies from the cookie factory or something. I'm just saying.
The only reason why I even know about clones because I was a newbie in the game, right?
Right.
And I was stumbling upon these little perfume stores, and you know how they quick to sell. For some reason, they don't want to sell the stuff in the glass. The stuff that actually, have legitimate houses. They always trying to sell you the cheap clones, right? It's like even the perfume industry is pushing these clones.
Well, and that's because they probably have a higher margin. Because the thing that I've learned is in the stores, when you're actually in the stores, that they're selling you those clone fragrances cheaper than designer, but they're not selling it for the $30 or $40 that you can get on
Amazon
or Amazon. They're selling it for like $70, $80, $90. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know any better, you're sitting there thinking that you're getting a deal. So that's why they're selling it.
Hey, Chon, what's that bottle you had of Savage Elixir? Assad,
yeah.
Who was that by? What brand is that?
This one is by Lattafa.
Bro, I seen people sell those at like $80, bro.
Yeah,
People buying that for
I'm like
$80?
on Amazon. Ain't there like 25 on Amazon?
yeah. But see, if you don't know, and this is what they do, because I've seen them work people. Those people in those fragrance stores are diabolical. They will give you deals, so they'll throw deals at you, but they'll throw it out at, oh, this is the list price, and they'll have like a crazy price on it. They'll have a price on it like $150, and then they say, hey, we're gonna give it to you for $90, and then if you don't buy it, they're like, okay, just for you, don't tell my boss. I'm gonna give it to you for $60, and then if you still don't, they'll still come down. I've watched them do it.
And look, the
it
crazy
is
part
crazy.
is they'll do it. They'll say like what he talking about, right? They'll say like, let's say Assad, right? You can get it for 25 on Amazon. The average person don't know that. They don't know fragrances. They just thinking like, okay, I'm in the mall. That's why I buy my fragrances at the mall, right? So he'll say, look, this is usually Assad. This is usually 110 for you. Give me 80. He still get a markup on the what he probably getting from Amazon too, 25. So they still robbing people in the malls when they telling you get a good deal. This is what I recommend people who are new to fragrances and buying fragrances. Go into the stores in the malls and perfume stores and then price check online. Do it in front of, well, I don't even say do it in front of them. That's disrespectful, but always go online and buy your fragrances. Yo.
Do it in front of them and let them know I caught you. Because I had to go out and watch this guy come out the store, and I was like, bro, here, let me show you this. You can get this for $40. You just paid $100. Right back. He was like, thanks for telling me. He went right back and took it back because he hadn't opened it yet. And I don't know if they saw me or not, but I'm just, that's not happening.
The perfume industry could be cutthroat, huh?
It could be cutthroat. It could be cutthroat. But now, Suits, I want to ask you. Take Diaghilev. What makes you like Diaghilev? What draws you to that niche perfume? Why do you like that so much?
4 hours later, it still smell the same and going strong. I'm telling you. Just the performance, the body of it, man. That's a true that's a true man's fragrance, and I haven't smelled any other fragrance like it.
Okay.
That's a powerhouse.
I have Alexander's version of Diaghilev. We're gonna put it to the test.
Have you smelled that Alexandria yet?
I just got it. it.
I would say something. I shop smartly. I'm always looking for deals. I don't just pull a trigger. I don't just buy stuff to buy. I don't need to. But I would say this. I got a full presentation from Tizzanetti Terenzi, and you can see it.
I like the way he say that. He say tits.
I don't even know how to say it right anymore after listening to the man.
So look, I paid $100 for this fragrance.
Which one is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that. That mine's half gone. That's an awesome fragrance.
Yeah, and I paid $100. I mean, this is technically like 3 clones, and you can have an all-star fragrance for 3 clones. And I'm not saying not to buy inexpensive fragrances. I'm saying there really shouldn't be this huge debate. Like if you buy some expensive stuff, cool. You buy some inexpensive stuff, cool. Wear it appropriately that you like to.
But
and that's it.
This is how I look at it though, right? For the dudes who wear clones, and you might look at guys like Suits or Charm or The Man or whoever and say, oh, these guys bougie because they buy originals and high-end colognes. But you gotta think about it. To them, they are amongst their peers. They get to chop fragrances back to each other, because they all smell these fragrances, they own these fragrances. So it's fun for them on their level, right? One day you'll be in a tax bracket, or we'll be in a tax bracket where we can buy fragrances at that price and be able to call a Suits up like, hey man, have you smelled this new $1,200 fragrance? Yeah, I do. I got 2 bottles of it. So you just waste your turn, bro. We all, eventually, bro, we all to get to the point where we'll be able to experience higher end stuff. We ain't got to have a debate, just wait your turn.
It is, and Scent Bubble said it, and other people say it's a journey. I didn't start out buying expensive fragrances. I had a budget, and as things got better. God blessed. I increased my budget. So that's definitely something that I think everybody has to go through. Now, I have one thing to bring up. This is Oud Noir, and this is by Versace. Now, this is a clone of Oud Wood. It's not 100%, but it's definitely inspired by Oud Wood. But this would not be considered a clone house. This is a designer house.
Designer house.
How do you guys feel about that? Because in effect, I think for one point or another, I think some clone houses get a bad rep because everybody's doing it. Everybody is inspired. Everybody's taking things and they're putting a twist on it because Oud Noir is just a twist on Oud Wood. And so it's a designer that is a lot cheaper than the original. In fact, I probably wear Oud Noir. More than I wear Oud Wood.
Who is that? That's by Versace, right?
By Versace, yeah.
All right, so that's my question. In clones, are they using original ingredients? What are they putting in their fragrances to make them smell like the original? Are they? I mean, they can't possibly use original ingredients. What are they using?
Okay, so let me just help Suits out. So let's say, like, for example, aromatics, right? He went to the thing in Milan, right? That whole Scent Explorer in Milan. He went to the owner of Suspiros, and Suspiros is like, look, this is my new fragrance. I got over 300 ingredients. He's like, for one of my ingredients, 1 kilogram, one kilo of this material cost me 50,000. He says, but I could make this in a cheaper version, but the ingredients is going to cost me like 5,000 a kilo instead of 55,000. So that'll be the difference. People have this misconception that they thinking that like you're going to get this Xerjoff that costs $300 they ain't the same ingredients. They may smell similar because the construction of it is the same, but what they're paying for each individual material is way different.
Yeah, so there's a little bit more to that, but I want to add on to what the man was saying. There is something, and here is something that is going to be said about original fragrances or niche fragrances. They're going to tell you how much it costs for a certain amount of weight of that fragrance oil. Just like Taif Rose. How many Taif Rose petals have to be distilled and tinctured to go into making that, and how much it costs by weight and how much they make. The question is then, is how much of that are they putting into the bottle? So even though it may be $30,000 per liter or something like that, they are putting such a small fraction of that in this one bottle. And so that changes up but we see the big price that when they have it in, a certain size that it costs so much and that they use so much to do it. But then you don't really understand because they don't have no natural materials. And even what they do on the side, they just have to tell you the ingredients. They don't have to tell you how much. So you don't really know how much of that real expensive ingredient there is. What clone fragrance houses do is they actually put that through the spectrometer and they separate all the ingredients. They get the information and then they decide, can we use this natural ingredient or do we have a synthetic ingredient that's a lot cheaper that we can put in instead? And once they get kind of how they want to do the formula, there are people that do that part of it. Because all the computer just does is say, this is what it comprises of, and this is how much of that ingredient is in this blend at this percentage. And then they actually take that and they decide, okay, well, instead of Taif Rose, we can use a synthetic tuberose or something like that. And the tuberose isn't really synthetic, but I'm saying a synthetic rose. So then they'll put it together and then they will smell it and keep tinkering with it until they get to something that they think is pretty close. and that's how. But for the most part, it is lesser quality materials. Now, some of them do use some higher qualities and maybe even some higher quality synthetics, but there are even stages for the different synthetics, because all niche fragrances use some synthetic materials as well. Because right now, no one can use real musk because it's outlawed, and no one can use real civet because it's outlawed, or castoreum. So just saying it's synthetic is a misnomer. It's not all that niche houses use all naturals and clone houses use all synthetics. That's not exactly true.
Well, I would say something too about the whole ingredients thing. There's that lady that made that video, and she's a perfumer. She was saying that every ingredient has a cap. So let's say if you're going to use, like, for example, in Xerjoff, that Maison sandalwood, maybe they're only allowed to put 8%, and that's the max. So every ingredient has a certain max that they can put in. They can't put in whatever they want, or else it'll get banned and they can't sell it. So every ingredient has a max, but the difference is what they're paying for it in bulk, right? It's just, that's what it comes down to. Because it's like, there's no way you're gonna tell me that. I mean, I smell Oud of Glory. I said, wow, that smells really good. They did really good for a clone. But when I bust out my Oud of Greatness, oh, there is a difference.
Oh, there's a big difference in my mind.
But I'm still not getting the answer as to why a clone of a fragrance that smells similar, the clone costs 83 cents and the original costs $2,000.
Because what they're paying for materials. So let's say like if it has 100 materials in it, each material that's costing the expensive fragrance brand is a lot more than the clone house. They're using cheaper ingredients. That's it.
Because if they say it's that close, everyone who know, I'm not saying you love your clones. Don't let me persuade you. You love your clones, love them. But my thing is, why don't they charge what, if they could get away with it? Why don't they charge what niche houses charge, or designers, whoever they cloning? Why are clones well under $100? If they smell that close, like people say, then why don't these clone houses price gouge their fragrances?
There it is.
That's my question. That's an honest question for people who.
Okay, so let's say this. Let's say Creed Aventus, right? We clone Creed Aventus. We did this. The truth is, nobody could ever really clone it 100% because the ingredients that Creed uses is patented by a certain company. So only Creed can get those ingredients. So no matter what anybody says, they can never get those ingredients. And that's kind of how it works for all these things. You know, they're going to have certain ingredients that a certain house is selling and only they're selling it. So a clone can't get those ingredients.
Yeah.
Because they're giving it to certain companies by contract.
So there are materials. So the raw materials could be different, but there's marketing. Like I said, Johnny Depp, he's got to get his paycheck. He's just not going to get on TV and sell Sauvage Elixir for free. And then there's the retail marketing sector. Because if you sell to the retail marketing sector, which clones do not, because we don't get clones in Macy's, we don't get clones in the normal retail marketing sector.
They would have to raise their price then.
Right. Well, so in the retail marketing sector, a perfumer, a house, a niche house or a designer house is going to sell it to a wholesaler or a distributor, and then that distributor is going to sell it to a retailer. And on each leg of that supply chain, they're going to add their markup, and they're adding to the price of that fragrance.
So it still basically comes down to quality.
It comes down to quality and the way they sell them. They go direct to discounters.
I'm saying so speaking about marketing, right? I mean, okay, maybe they paid Johnny Depp $10 million to make the Sauvage thing, right? Sauvage has been out for over 10 years. This is making like 150 million or something wild amount of money a year for Dior. Just this bottle. So Johnny Depp's profit and pay has been paid off. Nobody's paying Johnny Depp anymore for Dior. You know, he's, it's all contracts. They're not giving him a percentage per bottle. You know,
I keep saying marketing, but it's like Axe body spray had good marketing.
yeah, exactly right.
It had cheap materials, so they were making money too. But they didn't have Johnny Depp with Axe spraying it all over the place, saying, "Oh, women are dropping out the sky." No, they had a random dude. They just had walking with women dropping out the sky. The name matters, and the name is.
I didn't buy Dior Sauvage because no damn Johnny Depp, and I can tell you a million other dudes who didn't buy Dior Sauvage because Johnny Depp, bro.
But it's to some people, Johnny Depp is hey, that's
for
that's
women. Maybe the women bought it for that.
Even well, and I'm not saying
no.
that you as a man would like Johnny Depp, and that's why you buy Sauvage, but they use somebody who has name and face recognition, and you see women flock to him, or you see some kind of crazy commercial. Because some of those Sauvage commercials didn't make any sense whatsoever. But it's the familiarity. It's that you know Johnny Depp, and even though you're not saying, "Hey, I like Johnny Depp," it's somebody you know and are willing to watch, and it actually puts you, because when you think of Sauvage, you think Johnny Depp. And so it gives you something to attach to your brain, because that's what commercials are not necessarily made for you to buy right then and there. Commercials are made to put a marker in your mind. And then when you get to a place where you will, and in a place that you can buy, like say you go to a retailer, that marker, God bless you, comes back up and brings you more into a place that you're going to buy. In fact, most marketing, I'll give you some marketing kind of background. Most marketing wants to be seen in front of the person like 9 to 10 times before they buy. Because they're saying, if we can get this in front of them that many times, when they get
you gotta be gullible.
You
got to be gullible.
You don't. It's done subliminally. You don't. It's subconsciously. You don't even know it's happening. You don't even know it's happening.
I would say this: Hugo Boss uses the guy from the Avengers, Thor, and Hugo Boss don't cost a lot of money, and they paid. I'm sure they had to pay him some big coin to get him to back Hugo Boss. So the marketing isn't a lot of money to these companies. Yes, they have to promote, but as you can see on the discounters, you get it for a real good price. So, marketing is only a certain amount of money. It's not like, it's this crazy amount. And it is what it is. I don't think it's...
Yeah. But then think greedy. Now, let's say...
Hey, Silent Sir, that's a fact. The most expensive brands don't even market, bro. Yes, Dior Sauvage is a well-known worldwide brand. Dior Sauvage. We know about Dior Sauvage, but there's billions of fragrances better than Dior Sauvage that can do the same
I'm going to tell you a house that don't market that got excellent fragrance. Frederick Mall.
They don't market directly.
And
so,
but they're not making, they're not making billions of dollars a year on fragrances, or hundreds of millions like Dior. That's why Dior markets.
Imagine if Nichane marketed their luxury line, that Shem, the Neves, and the Mana, like LV markets tuxedo, not LV, who do tuxedo?
YSL.
YSL did tuxedo, Baby Cat, Core, like these, and then like LV got the Imagination. Like, bro, that's why I say, bro, the mass majority. I'm not part of the mass. I never was part of the mass majority, bro.
Right. Well, then that's the other part of it. Name recognition now. LV, I would say just like an LV bag. LV bags can be $8,000. And you could get a similar bag for probably $500. That's going to be same type of quality leather, but it just doesn't have the LV on it. That's part of it.
You can go over to a mom and pop store and get an LV bag for $30 and nobody knows.
That's nobody that does not have an LV bag, but that's another clone video.
Well, the thing is, a lot of these brands don't have this type of money. You know, not for nothing. Like, think about this. Creed is Creed, and Creed never could stand toe to toe with Chanel or Dior or Terre de Hermes. They don't have that money. No matter how much they sell, they don't have Chanel, Dior. They don't have LV money, so they can't promote like LV.
But they got name recognition now. So think about when you got your Creed. When you got your Creed at Ventus, you got the 2012, right?
Yeah.
How much did you pay for the 2012?
$200.
$200. Now it's $471. So as Creed Aventus got more and more popular and their name became more and more recognized, they started adding to that price, and it wasn't necessarily the increase in the raw materials or things like that.
No.
So some of it is once your name gets established and once you have that kind of Cadillac that everybody wants, you start jacking up the price because it's supply and demand. As they started running out and people were buying so many Aventus, then they start upping the price and they see when is it gets to the point where people stop buying it. And if they add $100 and you're still buying it, they'll add another, and if you're still buying it, they'll add another 50. And they'll just see where that place is because there are people in every organization that are doing basic accounting and actuary services to see where the line is. Because Creed is in everything. So let's not even discount that.
Oh no, that's true. It's just like, for example, when people say Richwood is better than Coromandel, I don't see it better. I don't see the ingredients better, and that's why Chanel went from $350 to $540 for a 200 mil. And people are still paying it, because this costs $600 in the store full retail. Now, I wouldn't pay full retail, but that's why you see designers pushing up their money because these niche brands kind of take some of their ideas, do it better or whatever, and they have the price so high. Now everybody's paying more for everything, and people are still paying it. So the price keeps going up. I don't understand personally, but
now, what I would like to know, and Nino brings up a good point. He said Creed made $750 million. I would like to see. I don't know if Creed is. I think Creed might be now public, but I would
tell him
their point and see how much their profit was.
Because, ask him how much Chanel made and how much Dior made.
Well, no, I'm not bringing it from that point. Because Chanel and Dior are designers, but $750 million. I mean, they're almost making $1 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. I would be curious to see.
And that's without selling.
They're making.
And that's without selling any other products. That's just fragrances.
That's just fragrances, right?
And like you say, it's the name Creed.
Right.
It's just the name Creed. But they came out with some good stuff. Carmina, Queen of Silk, the last two Centurion and Dolphinus, and then Absolute. They came out with some good stuff where they made some money.
But you know what I think where they kind of like, it's kind of sad because I smelled the new Creed Aventus, the AAA batch, and honest to God, it smells very similar to my Aventus that I have right now.
I don't know. I get a difference with mine, especially on the dry down. I really do. I get more depth with mine.
Hey, Suze, I saw your video where you said the Club New Week was over the Creed that you had, man.
I'll admit it. That Club Du Nuit, because I think my Aventus is a 17, 18, whatever. And the Club Du Nuit, it was better. I'm not gonna front.
And you got the ED, that's the EDP, right?
I don't know which one it is. I just heard y'all say
it's like 8 of them.
I just came in and said I want niche.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I want Club Du Nuit.
They got one called Le Parfum, which I think is like their best version. A lot of people think the same thing.
The limited
but that's
edition.
A damn good fragrance too, man. Like for what you pay for, if you get it like at the $25, $30 range, that is a steal of a fragrance for the price you pay, bro. I gotta give it up, man. For that, they did good on Club in the Week.
Yeah, they did good on that fragrance.
Commercial break. Happy birthday to my man Robert Platinum. So
Happy birthday.
man. Happy
$5
birthday.
chat. Say happy birthday to your boy. Everybody wish him happy birthday.
Who happy birthday?
Robert Platinum.
Oh, happy birthday.
Menthol 100s.
But
Oh, yeah,
here's the thing.
He wanted a fragrance that smelled like Newports.
Newport 100s. That's right. Menthol.
I want to ask people this question because I know the people who get like rattled up about this clone stuff, they own like 500 clones. So what I'm saying to them is, if you own 500 clones, you could have at least 250 niche fragrances.
They
So
don't see it that way.
you can't. So you can't. So they can't say that they don't have the money because obviously they have the money.
Man, it's the same. It's the same way where you see like people who. Where else do you see stuff like this at? This is really odd, man, to be in a community where the cheaper product of something is more praised and respected. Nowhere else I ever see this, bro. Like it's always like in the music community when you dealing with sound and pioneers and Sony, like it's tears to it, bro, and it's respected. Once you up there, you respect it, bro. Only in FradCon where you will talk about a clone when speaking about like a Creed or.
Imagine all the top reviewers, a majority of them are pushing clones, making people believe whatever they're going to believe, and and getting paid. See, that's what people don't say. Like, for example, say a channel like Robes Away, he says, listen, Lattafa and everybody and their mother sends me how much they want to pay me to push their product, and I won't do it. So all these clone brands are paying them really well to say this as well. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. Because if you're paying me to say this smells really good, then whatever, you can believe me or not, So that's a big difference too. These these places these guys are getting paid. Like the Jensen's, they're getting paid. This is not free.
So you're saying that the paycheck is greater than the truth?
Of course, to them.
I would be curious what Jen Sense wears when he's outside. I don't think it's gonna be those clones.
It's actually not.
Right. Because he does, I've seen him. He had Triple H's batch, I believe, or at
But
least
I think it's
Absolute Aventus.
I think it's a difference from what people talk about and what people wear, right? You look at a collection like mine, or maybe even you guys, like the Man Cologne, all you guys on here. 9 times out of 10, y'all wearing what y'all talking about on camera. It ain't just for the views or the recognition. Like, if I'm talking about some in my top 5 or my top 10, I'm wearing that.
Yeah.
I stand by that, right? I truly stand by that fragrance. It's not just content for me. This is actually stuff that I love. Like, it means something. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
When you get to that point, man, you just got to know what you really here for, bro. And a lot of these guys in this space of FradCon, some of these guys are here for the quick buck, or they might be here for the 100K followers. You see what I'm saying? I never asked, me personally, I'm sure y'all got your own story. I never asked for the 9,000 subscribers I got. I just got on camera and started talking about fragrances, bro. Because I knew I loved this stuff and I knew I was into it. And I was like, man, I wanted this to work for me if I did it. But I'm not here for the wrong reasons, bro. So when I talk about something, it's not because it's popular or it gets views. No, it's because this is my collection. I want to talk about my fragrances.
Okay. So in talking about the fragrances, do you subscribe to the story behind an original fragrance? Because clones, if they're inspired by somebody else's story, then they can't have their own story because they basically are borrowing somebody else's story. Do you like, I'll give you an example. So Aylin is by Day 3 Fragrances by Michael Paul's perfumer. His story and why he made Aylin was because he took the fragrance notes that his daughter loves and he decided to make a fragrance that symbolized, I guess, his daughter and her love for fragrances, and that's how he came up with the fragrance Aylin, which is a beautiful story. And I know there's so many different stories that are like that. Is that something that you subscribe to in getting an original fragrance?
For me, I don't. I know they have to have inspiration to create, so I respect that part of the creation. Now, the only thing I can say is that it's unfair when you see people take your creation and then give it away for free. So I do support the people who are actually making it, because the people who are faking it, I kind of like, why don't you just make your own stuff? Just make something, and I'm sure everybody would support it if you just made it.
Yeah.
You know, just make something. Why do you have to copy people? Like I don't copy, like we're all friends here outside of this, right? We all have talked on the phone. So I'm not copying nobody's style. I may mimic a thing here or there or take something I like because I watch you guys, but my style is me. So I look
You wanna
at
bring
clones
something
like,
different.
yeah, like I look at clones like, what, you steal the bottle, you steal the packaging, you steal the name. Like, yo, what the hell else you want? Why don't you just make your own fragrances and just charge cheap and get rid? Like, look, this Nautica Voyage is cheap. They're not copying from nobody. They did their own thing and they're giving it away for $20. What's the big deal?
So here's another thing. Are you wearing your fragrances for compliments? Is that
Never.
why you wear your fragrances? Because this is one thing. Astro is bringing up something that most females that he's around thinks his niche fragrances stink like satin moon. But they love the clones and designers.
Speak
That's
for
an
yourself, B.
That's an uneducated nose.
Speak for
Well,
yourself.
Because if you
I get
don't, if
compliments.
it was like
I
me when I grew up on designers. What I didn't think clones. I grew up on designers. That's all I knew. When I elevated and graduated,
Who
yeah,
said mood stinks? What?
that's what I'm saying. That's an
What chicks you be
uneducated nose.
around, bro?
Well,
No, some girls are like that. It's
I'm not
That's
a
what
big
you-
satin moon fan, so I can.
It's
I
the
don't-
I'm talking
type
about
of
women.
woman.
That's a scent trail for a woman's nose. Like
That's
that's a
I'm telling you,
seduction.
that's the type of woman that isn't ready for
She ready for that Dylan Blue
vibe.
vibe. Hey Astro, she's still on the Dylan Blue wave.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Before they released this Dior Sauvage or any Sauvage, or let's say Buddha Chanel, these companies have a panel of people who are smelling the fragrances, and then they go by percentage. So if 80% like this smell, they're pushing this. They're not going to push a fragrance that only got 50% of sales. That's what I've been trying to say. Like, believe me, Dior was making stuff. Look, the original Dior Fahrenheit came out in 1986, if I'm not incorrect. I was like, 87. I was like 9, 10 years old. This thing smelled like if you was in front of a gasoline station and somebody was just squeezing the nozzle and the gas is flying out and you're there. That's what it smelled like to me. So they wasn't making nothing safe back in the days. The thing is, it doesn't generate as much money as these things do.
Yeah, so you're right, and that is something that designers now they have researchers that do, and that's why a lot of their fragrances are mass appealing. That's why they're blended so well that you can't really pick out individual notes because you're taking that whole thing together, and they actually see how it does in public viewpoint. But Mr. Gumbo, sir, Yum and Law is getting a lot of hate lately. I don't know. I've never tried it, but hey, it is what it is. And then Robert Platinum again, bringing the love. I think he did this on the Suits and Sense side, but thank you, sir. Again, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But what you said has a lot of merit to it. Designers go through a lot of research to make sure that people are going to be attracted to the fragrances, are going to buy the fragrances. So that's something that comes out. So we've kind of put to the facts that fragrance dupes or clones actually are not comparable to the original niche fragrances for the most part.
Some
People say that some are better than the others. And as far as a lot of times it won't 100% clone it, but there are some
I'm gonna
clones.
die.
But the other question is, do you think buying clones negatively impacts the niche fragrance industry or creativity overall?
Of course, because without the original, there is no clone. Without somebody investing their time in this fragrance right here, without somebody truly developing this scent, you cannot make a dupe of it. So you need the originator.
So,
but you know what else I've noticed too is even niche houses are starting to clone popular fragrances. Like they see how much the clone industry has blossomed with cloning Creed, Baccarat, Aventus, Baccarat, Urban Pura, LV Imagination, stuff like that. That now niche houses are saying, these Aventus clones are booming out of sales. Like they flying off the shelves. How about we sit in the lab and we tweak a Creed Aventus style DNA?
But they do. Tazo, all
and
of
now
them.
you're starting to notice that more. Like brands like Lorenzo got one. That's a niche house. They got a Creed take. Algebra niche house, Creed take.
Okay, but let's say but I smell the Pagazio, whatever his name is, Lorenzo. When I smelled that Creed Aventus clone, their inspired fragrance of Creed Aventus, I can't lie, man, that smelled way better than my Club de Nuit.
So again, does it fall down to price?
Listen, I tell you, buy what you can afford. This is just scented water, right? But I think if you're going to have a lot of clones, it's cool, but you should have some originals for yourself as well. If you have 100 clones, damn, you could buy 20 originals and still have 70 clones.
There's two things. There's two things for that. One, I don't think we properly answered, but I do want to get to that because you said it before, and I wanted to get back to that of why buy so many clones. But we didn't say, does it negatively impact the niche industry to have clones? Because if you're saying, you're coming from the fact, and that's why I put it up with Fatboy said to make sure I don't forget where we were. If you're saying that they can't make a clone if they don't have the original, how is the original being affected negatively? Do you think it's taken from the original money?
Of course.
You think so? You think that making a clone is going to take from the original money? So
it's not moving the needle. It's not moving the needle.
Well,
it ain't doing nothing.
Moving the needle. So okay, so say we got Neffs. All right, say they got a clone of Neffs. I don't know if they do or not, but say Neffs, even on discounters, is like $285, right? But it's $450 for 50 mil, right? In retail stores. Okay, so Neffs is $450 for, and say they make, Alexandria, because Alexandria probably has one, that you can get 100 mil for $110. Now, that is, we're talking about moving.
I don't consider that a clone anymore.
But listen, let's even get to the $45. Let's say you got one that you could get for $45. All right, you got some clone that you get $45. Do you think the person that has the money to pay for Neffs at $450 is going to say,
"Oh, I see what you're saying." I see what you're saying.
I think the markets are totally
separate. Really different. Yeah, okay.
The person that's buying the clone is not the person that's buying Neffs.
Yes,
so
okay.
For the most part,
falls down to price point, basically.
Right.
So so Neffs, you say it's on discounters for
$285.
And the original, I think what I pay for it. I pay for whatever. And if they got a clone, the clone is going to be what, like $90.
If you get an Alexandria one, yeah. But Alexandria
is
is
that-
kind of like a high price clone.
So is that quality the same as the original?
No, but it'll be good.
Do the bear shit in the woods?
Yeah. Let me bring up. So here's somebody who would say that the clone
That's
quality is good as original. My boy would tell you
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. Bullshit.
Who's looking up clones of Neffs though? You gotta be
no.
bored
There
of
are people. There are people that are looking it up. There are people that are
Who don't want to pay?
who don't want to pay. for that.
enjoy the masterpiece for what it is, bro.
All right. Now here is the thing of what Demand was saying. Demand. So how many fragrances do you have approximately?
I think about 600.
And why do you have that many fragrances?
Well, I've been collecting for imagine if I had Europa, probably my oldest bottle. It's probably like 2000.
Not how long you've been collecting. Why do you collect? Why do you have that many fragrances? Because it doesn't matter how long you've been collecting. You can say you can stop it and say 10. That's it.
That's true. Honestly, for me, I always had a nice collection, but when my uncle passed away, I kind of started buying more. And then, and I like fragrances. I bought put this, when I was 17, I had about 40 fragrances at 17 years old. I've always had a nice collection for a long time. It's nothing new for me, but when my uncle passed away, I just started buying. And then I already knew I wanted to have a channel at some point. I saw reviewers making channels or making videos. I'm like, I could do this. I've been collecting longer than they have. So let me start building my collection and let me take time to actually know my fragrances before I drop a channel. I could have dropped a channel years ago because I already had hundreds of bottles years ago.
So some is that you had a channel, but what about the love of fragrances and what about having distinctive smells and stuff?
Yeah, I've always loved fragrances. I've been wearing polo green since 1981. I used to go to my father's cabinet, open his cabinet, take out the polo green and spray it. I bought Obsession when it came out in 1989. I bought Eternity when it came out, I think, in 88. I bought Cool Water when it came out in 87, I believe, or like 88. So I bought all these fragrances. I've been collecting.
Hey, Frank, what's his name? Nosy Neighbor. The thing is, let me cut right to the juggler, man, because I got to get out in a little bit, bro. We're going to cut right to the juggler.
All right.
How many of you clone bottles looking like energy drinks? How many of you clone guys have smelled an original and been like, damn, I cheated myself? You feel what I'm saying? When I smelled all them clones I had, it was only a few, maybe like even the Herba Gold one that's by Al Herman. When I smelled Herba Pure by Zerdrop, I was like, wow, there's a difference. When I smelled John Paul Gaultier Lamar Ultramar, and I smelled now PM is damn good. It can damn near compete. But when Ultramar is better. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these clones, when you smell the original, bro, and if you don't say that the OG smells better, your nose ain't you still gotta, because me, I can smell a clone off the ripper. Like, all right, I can smell cheap niche. If I can pick up cheap niche quality, I can pick up a clone.
So you saying they fronting?
Say it again.
You saying they fronting? Clone buyers?
Either they front or they
Let's go ahead and say yeah.
Either they front or they nose ain't mature. Cause I can't blame them if they nose ain't mature.
Okay, I give you that.
You give me, hey bro, you cannot tell me you can clone a Creed Centaurus. You cannot tell me you can clone a Lost in Paris by Roja. You cannot tell me you can clone a Ani. You get what I'm saying? Like it's certain fragrances, bro. Like there's no way that you can get up to that. unless you got the inside recipe, you know the perfumer, you know the ratio to this and that. If you weren't in that room, there's no way you can get to that.
And they're not using the same material. I mean, I'm telling you, the owner from Suspiro said like this: "Here's my new fragrance. It has 200 ingredients. Now this cost me a lot of money, but I can make this cheaper if I want to, but I don't. But the price points for material is extremely different."
Yeah.
And this is the owner of Suspiros. And he said it himself. So it's not like we're not saying this because we're not owners, we're not perfumers. So if the person who is actually doing the hard work can say that, then that's what it is. He can replicate the smell to a degree, but the ingredients is going to be way different. The price point of all the materials.
Yeah. So there's a couple things. One, for the most part, especially with niche quality, I would never say that a cologne fragrance matches the quality of a niche fragrance. It just doesn't. However, one thing that I would say, and jumping back on Demand having 600 fragrances and talking about people 100 fragrances, for the same reason why you have 600 different fragrances, people who have a different budget, not necessarily less money or whatever, they may or may not, they get 100 clones because they want to have that variety in clones instead of just having, say, 20 originals or niche fragrances. They want to have that kind of variety. Now, it is about what you do and if how you want to build your fragrance collection. If you want to build your fragrance collection over a long period of time, because you started well before 2012 when you got your creative venture, and it is come up to that. But it is what it.
Hey
what
Chuck,
it is.
let me ask the panel this question, right? And I also want to check the answer, right? I be seeing this all the time, right? Somebody said most of the outside world don't know what's a clone. Most of the outside world can't pick up on the difference. So
that's true. That's the way they feel. It's true.
You know what I say to those people? I can go buy me a pair of all white pair of shoes and paint me a black Nike sign on it and walk out like I got on some Nikes. Most people walking by gonna think they Nikes. But are you wearing these with confidence or are you walking around like you get what I'm saying? Like, go get the real deal and be done with it, bro. Point blank period. Go get the real deal and be done with it, bro.
The only thing the only thing I can say, and
know that you ain't got that. You know you ain't like me when I'm wearing Aqua Dubai. I know I'm wearing Aqua Dubai.
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna say is that wearing a painted Nikes and having real Nikes is a big difference. But because in the air, a lot of these clones you
smell
can't
good
tell in the air. Now, I'm not saying you put it up to your nose, you can definitely smell a difference. But if somebody walks by you in the air, a lot of times you are not going to be able to distinguish one from the other. Now, if you're in their scent bubble and you're around them for a while, then you may be able to pick up the distinction, especially.
But are you wearing fragrances
niche fragrance
at that point?
Huh?
Are you wearing fragrances to fool people? Are you wearing fragrances because I'm wearing this is what I'm wearing?
Yeah, and I'm not saying you're doing it to fool people. I'm just saying people can wear clones and they could fool people. Not necessarily. You
hear that a lot. Oh, the outside world ain't gonna know. I'm not wearing it for the outside world. No way.
Right.
If I was wearing it for the outside world, then I would be wearing a clone.
I mean, for me, it's just simple. You know, if it's your budget and this works for you and the clone smells good, because I smell girls in my gym that I know they're not wearing BR 540, but it smells good whatever they're wearing. That's fine. All I'm saying is if you have a ton of clones, you can afford some OGs. Now, if you can't afford OGs, it's fine. I'm not here to get in nobody's pocket because that's not cool. You know, money is not It's not money is not everything. I don't believe in that. I don't even care. I've never bought a fragrance because it's gonna get me laid or anything. I get myself laid. This is just an accessory. It's like me buying expensive sneakers or cheap sneakers, whatever I want to do, whatever my budget is. That's just what it is. So for people out there who get offended and get twisted, hey, if you can't afford something, buy what you can afford. No one cares. You know, as long as you smell good, that's the only thing that matters.
You know
You know
what's
what I mean?
crazy to me is that this conversation always get brung up between two groups of Fredcom that don't even intermingle, right? Like you got dudes who watch, you know, clone content and make clone content. You got dudes like Charm and Demand and, you know, Suits who just do original content. So it's like one hand don't wash the other. So I don't understand how this always become a clash because it's two sides of Fredcom. The clone side of Fredcom and the original side of Fredcom. So for it to be, you know, a constant conversation, it's kind of like, why? You know, we on two different sides of the field, bro.
Yeah, 'cause see,
Whoever
me and my wife, we was having a discussion, right? And she was asking me why you don't do clones, because you can reach a broader audience, because people would, you know, like your opinion because all you do is original. So if you compare a clone to the original, then you might get more views. And I mean, it was a deep discussion, but I'm like, but then I'm gonna have two fragrances of the same that I know I'm not gonna wear. It's just gonna sit there.
exactly. I buy what I want. Like I see people like talking about African leather, right? They have the clone. Now I'm not saying that clone. I don't know what it smells like, but all I know is this: you can buy this for $130 on Vemba, no tax. This is like 3 clones, maybe 4, and you have the original. So if you got 200 clones in back of you, it just takes 4 of those bottles to get one of these. And this is a masterpiece. African leather is this thing smells crazy good. I
Yeah.
put this up against anything. I don't know. This smells
It's
amazing.
a good fragrance though. The
Yeah.
African rose smell good too.
Yeah.
See?
One thing I will say is that I have both on my channel. So I have clones and I have designer and I have niche. I have all 3. They do kind of, it's not necessarily that they mix so much, because a lot of times I'll get comments. Like if I make a clone video, people who come to me to watch originals niche are like, why would you even put that up? But then when I do originals, then the people that watch the clone side of it, they say they may make a comment too and say, I'm never spending that much money. It is the reason why this is such a big deal is because I think both sides feel like they're justified in what they do. So I think that that's an interesting part in and of itself, because we're all one fragrance community, but the other side will talk about the other side of it. One side will talk about the other.
Yeah, because every now and then, bro, like for me, like when I first started, I can speak for myself. When I first started YouTube on the frag side of things, I was buying some of the cheaper stuff, the Cool Waters, the Al Harmains, the Game of Spades, you name them. I was buying these little Latifahs or whatever, right? But I gradually started getting more and more to, you know, the better quality of fragrances. I'll just say that, the better quality of fragrances, right? And I stopped buying and making so many clone content, and people will be hitting me up like, yo, Tazo, what's up, bro? Like, what's the next best clone for Creative Ventures, or what's the next best clone for Imagination? And I'll be getting comments when I do top 10s like, yo, these too expensive, man. Like, what about some cheaper stuff? So of course, you know, every now and then, man, you know, I'll stumble upon a nice little clone, I'll review it, or a cheaper fragrance, I'll review it, but it just happens that way, bro. It just like with anything, bro. You're gonna start entry level, and then you're gonna be immediate, and next thing you know, you're gonna go up to the advanced, bro. So, you know, do as you want. I don't know, bros. Do as you want, bro. I just only speak from my experience. I started somewhere, now I'm here. Who knows where I'll be in 5 years from now in Fredcom.
So, in your mind, it's a journey.
Look, I have a friend, right, that he drops off fragrances to me. Now, he has money to buy expensive stuff, and he doesn't. You know, look, here's one curve, here's two curve, here's three curve, here's four curve. This is all his fragrances. 5 curve, 6 curve. Now imagine he got money to buy expensive stuff. He doesn't. He likes this stuff. So it's not about, people shouldn't get offended about money, this, that. He buys what he likes. He has some expensive stuff, but the majority of the stuff that this guy buys is stuff like this. And then he'll come drop it off to me and be, hey man, make a video. I want to see a video about it. All right, cool, give it to me. I'll do a video. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because I like everything, you know what I mean? But I have to be honest with myself.
And this is how I look at it. Like, aren't you like not trying to throw no shots or shades at anybody, but don't at some point don't you have that like that thought to yourself like, damn, I wonder what the original smells like. Oh damn, I wonder what like the real Creative Vintage smells like. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, I want to know what it feels like to have the bottle of Creative Vintage.
And that's true. My experience was,
or maybe not. I don't know.
When I got into niche fragrances, I gave away a lot of my designers. I mean, I gave them. I didn't even sell them. I gave them to like my father, who liked the One and Eros and all those kind of things. When I got in niche fragrances, I totally changed up. And then I had to, when I wanted to put content about a designer fragrance, I had to borrow it or buy it again just to put up content about it. And it's the same way as you progress, you get different ways. And All World Fragrances said it, like, once you start smelling good quality, once I started smelling how rich and deep and different that niche fragrances were, I decided that was the way I was going.
It is like a drug. Not so famous. It is like a drug. When I smell Ani, I always thought vanilla fragrances smelled like stuff at Bath and Body Works, like very creamy and sickly sweet, gourmandish. When I smell Ani, I was like, I never knew vanilla can smell like this. You get what I'm saying? I never knew that vanilla could get that expensive smelling. And I was hooked, bro. I was like, wow, like I gotta find more. I became hooked.
I know that.
Hey, if people want to know a good Creative Vintage alternate that's from a different company, and it don't really smell like Creative Vintage, it's just in the ballpark, it's right here. Gentleman, the Formal from the House of Salidge.
I seen that. Oh yeah, I got some samples from them, yo.
This smells, yo. This smells good. And you can get this at the right price for like $130 when the company has sales. So you're buying straight from the company.
The man gonna pass out over there spraying himself again.
That video, he's the top 50. He sprayed at least 35 of them.
No, I sprayed all of them. I got all of them, I think.
All of them.
Hey,
that was crazy.
Hey, Charm, on a serious note, though, I wasn't really even motivated to do this live stream, bro, because I was kind of done talking about it when I had spoke about it last on my channel. But yeah, this will be the last time I ever talk about clones versus OGs, bro. I'm moving on past this topic. And if you want to wear clones and buy clones, keep doing what you do, bro. I'm not worried about nobody else and what they spending money on, what their collection look like. I never actually see nobody collection. Buy what you buy, wear what you wear. And I'm moving past this topic. It's so watered down, bro. It really is.
I mean, and just the way that I wanted to talk about it was just because I knew all of you guys basically we're more originals, and I wanted to go from just that one perspective. I understand people wear what they like. And everyone, I mean, when I started the other discussion last week, it wasn't to cause any kind of turmoil or any kind of beef or contention between us. It's a curious topic, and I own both of them, and I was curious to see what everybody thought from their own perspective. But definitely wear what you like, and there's no judgment.
But the thing is, this is how I look at it. Like, you're going to like it's like energies attract, right? So people that you are of the same cloth, you're going to come together. And the people who aren't of your cloth, they're going to go to where they feel comfortable, or where they, you see what I'm saying? Like people who watch me, they watch me for the fragrances I have. They don't watch me because I'm reviewing this, I'm reviewing that. They know Tazo was into buying originals, so that's why they're watching me. People who review clones, people watch them for the clones. And he just leave it like that, bro. Like just everybody do what they do, and everybody be fine. What you wear, everybody be fine, bro.
I mean, because everybody say wear what you like. Is it wear what you like or wear what you can afford?
Where would you can afford?
It's both of them.
I wear what I can like and what I can afford. But it's ways you can accommodate for that. If you can't afford $1,200 bottle of Lost in Paris, right? You cannot afford that full bottle, but you might be able to afford a 5 ml of that.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to afford a 10 ml. Like you don't always like it's ways you can get things in life without breaking your budget or going into debt. You just gotta learn how to get things you want out of life at your own pace in your budget.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
if you could afford it, then you would get the full bottle, or you would get that fragrance that you really want.
If I could afford it, I would have to be making a whole lot of money. I'm talking about a whole lot.
Well,
of money.
I told you how to make money. Go to the senior citizen building on Friday and strip.
No, but I come from the bottom, bro. So I don't know if I would ever spend $1,200 on a fragrance. Just off the way I just was. That just sound crazy to me.
the only reason why I haven't really, and I told Charm this, next year I plan to buy more high-end stuff, like really expensive stuff, but I've never really dove into too much because I know I'm not going to wear it. I have too many fragrances. There's no way that even if I might buy, I almost bought an Amber Oud like yesterday. I almost pulled the trigger. But I know if I buy it, I'm not going to wear it like that. So it's like, I want to do other things right now. What's the point? $400, I could buy 4 different fragrances, So just everybody take their time. I think this is good education for people that they can realize, okay, I can buy some clones, I can buy some inexpensive stuff, and I can buy some expensive stuff. You don't have, you could, for me, it's always to have a versatile collection. It's like clothes. I don't wear good clothes to the gym. I don't. I'm wearing beat up stuff to the gym because I'm going to lift. I'm going to do stuff that I'm going to ruin my clothes. So why the hell am I wearing expensive clothes to the gym? That's just me. Everybody do what they want. If you want to buy $1,000 outfit and go to the gym, then do what you want. You know what I mean? But it is the gym, I am going to lift weights. I am going to rip all my shirts. So it's like, what's the purpose? That's just my motto. It's just me. I think people should have a versatile collection. It shouldn't be all clones. It shouldn't be all this and all that. Just buy a unit, have some different alternates so you can have a variety of things. That's it.
Yeah, do what fits you, yo. Suits buying retail bottles every time he want to buy a fragrance. Does not mean that you should do the same thing, right?
Exactly.
But if you in suits, shoes, like if your lifestyle matches up with the type of lifestyle Suits have for himself, and you can buy retail every time, then you can do that.
You can do that.
Just walk your own pace, walk at your own pace, and do what makes sense for you at the end of the day. Do what makes sense for you. We all individuals. We can make individual decisions for ourselves. If you prefer to get 100 ml of a clone versus getting 5 ml of the original, then do that. If you rather had a 5 ml of the original than buying $40 of a clone, if you rather just had an original bottle, it's whatever makes sense for you in your situation.
I'm kind of mad. I didn't bring out, I didn't keep it like a house like Amber Oud. Amber Oud you can buy on Joma Shop for under $100.
Yeah.
And they have really good fragrances that you can purchase. So that's why that's what mind boggles me. Like, I don't know why people so fiscated on certain things. Yo, just diversify yourself. Like, buy a bunch of different stuff. You know.
Yeah. As you brought that in, that was my sin of the day. If everybody saw, it was Oud After Dark, and
that was amazing.
Before we go,
yeah, I'm about to get out of here, man. I'm kind of all wrapped up with this conversation, bro.
Yes, sir. We're gonna have Amaoud on the show, on the live. I've talked to them, and we're gonna bring them on the show to talk about their house and their things. Sometime either next week or the week after. So I'm working out with them to get a show with them, and it would be an enjoyable show. Also, we are wrapped up with this, and
appreciate it, Chom, bro.
Things, but we're gonna try to keep our group together and come on at least maybe like once a month or something. And we don't necessarily have to. We definitely don't have to do this again. But I really think we had a vibe going when we first started a year ago, and I want to keep that going and get us together at least every once in a while so that we can talk about fragrances and talk about whatever.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you,
Sounds
man.
good. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Man, appreciate all of you. Yeah.
All right, family, man. I'm finna run to the gym, bro. Get a workout in, man. Y'all be good, man. Appreciate every last one of y'all, man.
Have a good one, Jazzo.
All right, man. Y'all, everybody be safe. Y'all all have a good night, man.
You too, now.
Peace out. All right, guys. We're wrapping up tonight. I hope we gave a lot of answers. Maybe not final, but hey, it's something. We got a good live. I hope you enjoyed it. Got great things coming up. Again, take care, everybody.
To all the people who like frags like Charm City does. Made this track so you really know what live was. Come together over fragrances. That's the why, cuz getting love and support from the vibers. Put your sense of the day in the chat, cuz no wrong sense where whatever and for just because. Positivity and love with a live hug. A life full of fragrances, what I love. Finding hidden gems from the order Rose Dove. Negativity and fighting is what we're above. Try to this, we throw up a hand with a big shrug. Like a card of positives, it's a plus love. If you wanna cause drama, you won't even think of us. The connoisseurs fly high like a dove. And I sniff it, yes you can. 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 I sniff it. With my frags that I can spray in layers. A connoisseur, but also a poem sayer. At times a live studio purveyor. Won't choke you out, but not a sissy sprayer. Hit the like, you'll be doing us a really big favor. Subscribe if this track has a lot of flavor. Rest in peace, Five Dog, who's resting with our savior. Follow us for the fragrance behavior. Make a note of the fragrances we gave you, one by one, or apply them in layers. Do you like the fragrances we share? Keep an open mind, don't be a naysayer. Find some new frags that you can savor. Doesn't matter if you're minor or major. From niche to designer, we're the player. As you inhale like a breath of fresh air.